You know, when I teach people, my first question is, why do you pray at midnight?
Yeah.
And the answers are here. Most people will say that because it's a witching hour, because witches are up, doing their thing. And I'll be like, so you're chasing witches?
Yeah.
But the truth is, witches don't fly only at night, at midnight.
Yeah.
Witches fly even during the day. That's why the book of Psalm 91 tells us that about the arrows that fly at daytime,
Yeah.
So the issue of midnight prayer, remember, prayer is for any time.
Yeah, true.
But you also need to understand spiritual laws.
Yeah.
You need to understand the spirit realm and how it operates. And what I've seen is the children of darkness understand the spiritual realm more than the children of light.
That's true.
All right. So when you now look in the word, the Bible tells us, Psalm 119, verse 6-2, at midnight I will arise and give thanks unto the Lord because of thy righteous judgment. All right. And if you go to the book of Exodus 11, verse 4, when God spoke to Moses and said, I'm coming to take the Israelites out of Egypt, he says, I will come at midnight. And when you go to Exodus 12:12, he says, I will come in that hour and I will judge the gods of the Egyptians. Right? So what God was saying is that when he comes at midnight, he is going to judge the spirits that had held the Israelites in captivity, in bondage. So then you realize that midnight is actually a time for judgment. So whatever spirit, right, that is operating in your life, when you want to deal with that spirit, that's when now you pray at midnight. So midnight, it is a time for judgment. And when you continue, go to the book of Acts 16, right, and you read from verse 25, the word says that Paul and Silas were in prison and they were praying at midnight and singing hymns unto the Lord. The question should be, why did they wait for midnight to make that prayer, right? And the word tells us that there was a giant earthquake that shook even the foundation of the prison that they were in. So that's what midnight prayer does. It shakes the very foundation of whatever prison that you are in. And the word goes on further and it says that immediately doors flew open and chains broke loose, because that's what that prayer does. It opens doors and it makes sure that every chain in your life is broken. All right. So we need to understand midnight prayer from that point of view, that when you go into prayer, you don't beat about the bushes. You are calling judgment on whatever spirit that is operating in your life, whether it's a spirit of backwardness, whether it's a spirit of anti-progress. You are going to call judgment, the judgment of Jehovah upon that particular spirit that is operating in your life.